When Steel talks, everybody listens.
Until you get to know it and understand what it is, because through the years, when I played steel drums, you hit this note. This was a C. That was a C. You hit it, bam, boom, C. I remember sitting down with Rudolph Charles one time, and he tuned in this note. I'm saying, Rudolph, what note is that? He said, it's a C. I said, Rudolph, that C sounded real good. He said, yeah, the C is cool, but I'm going for the exact words he used. I'm going for the what's it? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going for the partial. I said, what partial? You see, up in this corner here, this is a C. If you hit it here, you're hearing the harmonics to the E.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, and then from there I'm going over here so you can hear the G. You know, to hear the fifth. Here's the third, you hear the fifth, and over here the seventh, 11 up to 13. I'm saying to myself, get out of here, Rudolph. What the hell are you doing? And you hit that note, and that's the sound that Desperadoes had back in them days. They had a sound that I don't care what band it was. You could have a better arranger, you could have whatever, but them pans didn't have a better sounding band than Desperadoes. I don't know whether it's Bertie, the combination between Bertie Marshall, between he passed away, Lincoln, and the one with the hoarse voice now, Wallace. You know, was a combination of them, man. Rudolph, I don't know where Rudolph get these guys from. He'd go around different places. You know what I mean? I want you. He'd bring them to the yard or whatever. But between those guys, they blended those pans and it with sounds. And then Rudolph now would go after they tuned him. He'd go for his partials and put his thirds, fifths, and second. You know, and you actually hit that C.
Those harmonics.
You're hearing the whole chord.
Yeah.
You know, you're not hearing just the C. When I was playing, you hear just the C. You hear it now. You're hearing the C, the E, the G, the seventh, the 11th. You know, you say yourself, wow. And this is where steel pan has gone. And the average person still thinks, oh, it's that drum.
Because Rudolph has passed away a number of years now. So look how long.
Look how long it's been. See, he was a real innovator. And I used to try to figure out, what did Rudolph Charles used to do? You know, he didn't arrange, he didn't make them or something. And I used to see him just after they make them, he would go into his thing. You know, and I think his real contribution was that quad pan. I think he was the first one that made the quadraphonics. Yeah, you know what I mean? And putting stuff up on racks and taking it from here. And, I mean, it's just it's amazing, you know, the technology and how they go about it. And you think this man did all this with just his ear and a hammer. Well, he did a lot more things with a hammer. Yeah. But he, you know, with a hammer and his ear. You know, it's just amazing. It's just, you know, in any time in the world this came out, this would be one of the most genius things invented. That steel drum.
It's a genius instrument.
It is, but I mean, people don't. They don't know it. You take an oil can that oil comes in, and they take it and cut it down and they make an instrument sound like a piano.
The genius of the people.
You know, they do that with violins. You have to pay $2-3 million for that instrument. You know, what happens when you get this is a guy that no training whatsoever in terms of music, in terms of sound, and they listen to it. And I remember one time I was recording an album in my studio. And before I record my album, once I record my album, I always, to get Robert in to do some overdubbing, I'd call Rudolph and Robert. I hire Rudolph to come a day ahead of time, listen to my tracks, put the drums in my key, make sure they're in tune. Yeah. Now, we always go to 440. Sometimes you're a little sharp, a little flat, but I want you to come in, hear my tracks, and make sure that drum is in tune with the rest of the musicians.
Right.
Ralph came in the studio, started doing the pan. He said, Ralph, what did y'all tune to? I said, the strobe. You know, electric strobe. He said, yeah, your strobe is off. I'm saying to myself, what the hell are you talking about? Every Gale, Richard T., everybody playing to the strobe, all of them got good pitch. Nobody saying a word. He gonna tell me my strobe is off.
Rudolph Charles.
The
strobe is off.
Understand? Randy Brecker, Michael Brecker, David Sanborn, all of them on my record. But Rudolph told me the strobe is off. So I said to myself, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. I called my guy and said, man, check the strobe. The guy tell me, yeah, your strobe was off, Ralph. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear, that's a true story.
You understand the genius of
And I'm
Rudolph
saying to
Charles.
myself,
Yeah.
holy crap, all these great, I mean, nobody, we've been using, I can't tell you how long we used that strobe was on everything.
And this is just by his ear.
That's his amp.
Just his
He
amp.
tuning the steel drum. He tell me, Ralph, your strobe is off. I said, Rudolph, what are you talking? Just in, everybody looking around at me now saying, I said, what is he smoking? And I'm saying, let me check the strobe, guy. I got to give it, let me just check it.
Benefit of the doubt.
And I checked it out, and the guy told me, Ralph, your strobe was off. So Rudolph was right, but this is the kind of guy he was. So it's amazing to what those guys could do and what they did with the talent that they had.
And what they still continue to do.
To bring this
Around the world,
instrument to where it is today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, years ago it was like you just get a good play and that was it. But now it's so technical. It depends on who made the drum, number one, because your reputation precedes you.
Mm-hmm.
See, and when people hear a good drum and they know who made this, so and so, and when they get a consistent thing that every time you turn around and you're hearing this, that's very special. Then you got to be lucky enough to you found that guy that made it, great. Then you got to find the guy that really could tune it properly. Then you found that. Then you still got to find that guy to play it.
Mm-hmm.
When you get all those elements
Together.
on this level together,
You have
it's
magic.
unreal.
So
Magic ain't the